Hello my friends, it's the first day of 2015. Mr. Max Bliss in the southwest of France. And I doubt you can see that now. I've just taken a picture of that plane. And that plane was from TAP. It's a Portugal plane. TAP. And of course it's leaving a great big long induced contrail. And if we look at the sky, and also take a look at the weather forecast, and you will see the forecast is for change. Now as we look at the skies, we can see that these induced contrails have spread out into contrail cirrus, and now something else is happening within the contrail cirrus. We can see these gravitational waves, which we believe are from electromagnetic frequencies, stimulating the particle matter that's been left from the contrails. So the aircraft have left material in the atmosphere and it is being stimulated and it is growing. It's creating a cloud blanket. It's spreading out. And as we look there, we can see really all this stuff you can see in the sky is purely from aircraft, and that material is being stimulated and it's evolving. It's spreading, it's growing, and it's blocking out the sun, and it's making changes to our climate. The aviation, this part of this aviation industry is affecting the climate. Now that's not up for dispute. There are many different investigations now demonstrating beyond any reasonable doubt that these cirrus clouds that are created, contrail cirrus clouds, are having a warming effect on the climate. But of course they can affect it in different ways. They can also block out light. They can trap moisture in. They can change the air pressures. There's lots of different ways they can have effect on our climate. It's also important to realise that there is polarity in these clouds. Just to have a look how close those trails are to the engine. Literally not one single gap. Yet on other planes we can see when they're releasing chemtrails or contrails, we can see sometimes that the gap is past the plane. That's directly from the engine, not one single gap whatsoever. That's incredible. Supposedly ice crystals made right in the 600 degree centigrade heat of the engine. That's what we're being asked to believe. Ice crystals forming directly in that 600 degree centigrade heat. Right, well, you know, I don't believe that that is a normal contrail. Just have a look at the length of it. Oh, there's a break in it there. But interestingly, we can see a little bit of blackness there where it was. Isn't that interesting? Okay. We've got another plane there doing another trail. So the weather forecast is for change. Tomorrow it's supposed to be warmer. Okay, it's been quite nice and crisp and cold. We've had very frosty mornings. It's been like -4 at night time and just hovering around the 2 or 3 mark during the day with blue skies, and it's very pleasant. It's like winter. And now the planes are deploying their contrails, and these are expanding out into this opaque mess in the sky, and we can see the gravitational waves. We can see that something is stimulating, it's affecting these contrail cirrus clouds, and it's making this massive great big cloud bank, obscuring the sun, altering the albedo of the planet. It's reflecting away the sun's light. The sun is not even yellow like it used to be. It's now white. Those of us old enough to remember what it was like when this program was in its very early stage, in its early development, and there wasn't all these contrails. There were just random ones, sporadic, if only evidence from photos can prove that. Most people can't remember them. There was no way there are photographs of these persisting on a regular basis wherever there were busy airlines, air corridors. You know, during the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and even most of the 90s, under the world's busiest air corridors, you didn't see persisting, spreading contrails like this. And interestingly, that thick one there, or that plane that was just showing where it's gone black there, there's a little blackness, right? Let's follow that along. The bloody plane that was spraying it has disappeared. So it's had a turn off. It's actually turned it off. That's outrageous. I missed that. What a shame. It's not outrageous, I missed it, but you know, this shows that it's an artificial program. This is not inadvertent climate modification. This is deliberate climate modification. And this deliberate climate modification is being done to con and fool the masses into believing that we've got a climate problem that needs global solutions. That means we all submit to Agenda 21 and all the far-reaching programs that come along with the United Nations post-2015 agenda, which is ultimately about creating a one-world regime so that these criminal, insane elites, these inbreds can take control of all of the nations in the world through Agenda 21 and rule the world. This is what it's all about. They want to rule the world. They've had all their wars to get to where they want to make sure there's no opposition, and they now have loads of puppet governments and people on board in the governments that feel they're going to benefit from a one world government system because they're going to have their place assured in the new world order. And they are selling out all the people to these oligarchs and monarchies and obscenely rich people of the criminal elite. Interesting that over there, isn't it? And they are selling us out. They're trying to con the masses into believing there's a climate problem, but they forget to tell you about the long-term development of weather control techniques and the fact that we now have this obvious program that they're working so hard to deny. Yet most of us who are old enough can see the skies have changed incredibly, and it's not just due to the extra air traffic, because let's face it, underneath the busiest air corridors in the world, if this was natural and always been around since planes have been flying, you would expect us to have many examples of photos like this from underneath the busiest air corridors in the world. However, we don't. And the fact they're having to educate us to this now in the last 10 years or so is testament to the fact that it's something new. It's time we started to wake up and realise our governments are filled with criminals. They're puppets for the oligarchy, for the monarchies, for the obscenely rich, who really are despotic and want to rule the world. It's time to wake up, my friends. This is disgraceful. It has to stop. It will only stop with mass participation, with people waking up and rejecting the New World Order and Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, and all of these despotic plans that are used for mass deceptions to con us all. And we will have to take down our governments and remove those criminal elements, and we will have to find new ways for a transparent system of self-governance and self-determination without the banking criminal fraternity ruining our planet and using their corporations with their tentacles of power, because who owns all the corporations? It's the same group that owns all the banks and owns all these different industries that are controlling our lives. We need to clean up, and it's time to wake up. Take care, my friends. 2015 should be the year of our liberation. Think about that, our freedom, by exposing the criminal despots in the New World Order that bring you illegal wars and false flag terror like 9/11, etc., etc. It's time to wake up and put an end to this. And we can, and it's up to you. Let's do all we can. Take care. Bye for now.